This is 7.5 part 2. I should probably write that up at the top. There are two ways to solve rational equations when you don't have fraction equals fraction. One way is you could go back to what we learned in section 7.3, and you could try to combine the right side into just one fraction, and then you could cross multiply. But there's an easier way. I call it fraction destroying. You can destroy the fractions by multiplying everything in this equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is basically what you have in the denominators, what different things you have in the denominators. So in number 3, in our denominators, we have x plus 3 and x plus 3. This 1 has a denominator of 1, which we don't need to multiply by 1. That'd be pointless. So the denominators are x plus 3. I'm going to multiply everything by x plus 3.
Mom, did Daddy give me a hug and a kiss when he left for work yesterday?
Yes, he gave you a hug and a kiss before he left for work. Sorry about that. Okay, once you have multiplied everything by x plus 3, you have to multiply every single term by x plus 3. Now we can cancel in each term. So in this first term, the x plus 3 on the bottom cancels the x plus 3 on the top, leaving us with 2x. This next term, there is no denominator, nothing cancels, so we have 1 times x plus 3. Don't lose this negative. That negative's kind of sneaky right there. We have minus, that cancels, so we have minus 6. Once I distribute, deal with those parentheses, this is a really simple equation to solve. Combine your like terms. Get all your x's to the same side. So we have x equals -3. Now, you do need to check your answers. You have to go back to the original problem and see if your answers would cause any of the denominators to equal 0. So if we were to put -3 in here, -3 plus 3, that's 0. So if our, Mary, if our answer makes our denominator equal 0, that means it is an extraneous solution, so it doesn't work. And if our only answer doesn't work, then we say no solutions. Everything is like exploding in my house right now. Number 4 takes a little bit of work. And the good news is on your assignment, I don't think that you are going to have to factor before you do the fraction destroying step, but you might have to. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this problem nice and spaced out. We need to figure out what our denominators are. When we factor x squared plus 4, that factors into x plus 2, x minus 2. Then we've got a plus 1 over here. Okay, what do we have in the denominators? I see x plus 2. I also see x minus 2. It's okay that x minus 2 happens twice. You don't need to multiply by it twice. Think of it as, what are the distinct denominators? What different things do you see in the denominators? I see x plus 2 and x minus 2. So I am going to multiply everything by x plus 2, x minus 2. Because we are multiplying everything, every term by this, you're only multiplying the tops. Okay, now we can cancel. We can destroy fractions. The x minus 2 cancels, so we have 3x minus 2 times x plus 2 equals. In the next term, woohoo, everything cancels. We have 6. And then this last term wasn't a fraction, so nothing cancels. We have x plus 2, x minus 2. There's a 1 in front, but 1 times, you know. Okay, now we need to double distribute, simplify, combine like terms, all that good stuff. So here we've got 3x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 4. x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. Okay, so we have 3x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals x squared, those cancel, plus 2. Get 0 on one side so you can factor and solve. So we're going to subtract x squared on both sides. We're going to subtract 2 on both sides. So we have 2x squared plus 4x minus 6 equals 0. All right, you might be thinking, hold on, Mrs. Gilmore, we have to factor this and there's a 2 in front. I don't like that. But could you divide everything by 2? Why, yes, you could. That will give us x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. And that's something that is pretty easy to factor. The only way to multiply to get 3 is 1 times 3. We want it to add up to positive 2, so the bigger number needs to be positive and the smaller number needs to be negative, which means our solutions are 1 and negative 3. Let's check both of these solutions. In the original problem, 1 minus 2, not 0. 1 squared minus 4, not 0. So 1 works. Negative 3 minus 2 is not 0. Negative 3 squared minus 4 is not 0. So that one also works. On your assignment, it's a multiple select. So there'll be a ton of answer choices and you have to click both of the answers that match what you got. Okay, and here's our last one. Again, on your assignment, you shouldn't have to factor. Like it probably will already be factored for you. So I'm going to start by spreading this out and seeing what we've got. And see how I'm, like, give yourself space. Don't try to cram this into a tiny little space. Give yourself space. It's so much easier to do this when you have lots of space. The only thing here that can be factored is the 4x squared minus 9. That's a difference of 2 squares. It factors into 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. Now, as we think about destroying fractions, look at what is in the denominators. I see 2x plus 3. It happens twice, but you only need to think about it once. I also see 2x minus 3. That also happens twice, but we only need to think about one of them. Now, these two things are different because one of them is plus and one of them is minus. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. And here you hopefully will start to see why spacing things out is to your benefit. It makes your work a lot neater and cleaner. Okay, let's destroy these fractions. In the first fraction, 2x plus 3 is gone. So we are left with 5 times the quantity, 2x minus 3. In the second term, 2x minus 3 cancels. Fraction destroyed. 4 times the quantity, 2x plus 3. After the equal sign, both things canceled. Fraction destroyed. All we have left is 14x plus 3. Let's distribute. We've got 10x minus 15 plus 8x plus 12
Mom,
equals 14x
I painted.
plus 3.
Look,
That's beautiful, sweetie.
thank you.
Combine your like terms.
There's not very much
10x,
stains on it, though.
10x and 8x is 18x. Negative 15 and 12 is negative 3. Subtract 14x on both sides. Notice this one doesn't require factoring. 4x minus 3 equals 3. 4x equals 6. X equals 6/4, which simplifies to 3/2, or 1.5. Now check. 2 times 1.5. It might be helpful to put this as a decimal here. So in the original problem, 2 times 1.5 plus 3, not 0. 2 times 1.5 minus 3 is 0. So when we put 3 halves, or 1.5, into this denominator, it creates 0, which is bad. So we cross that answer off. And if our only solution doesn't work, then our answer is no solution. I think that's it for this chapter. Your assignment, I shortened it down. I think it's like 4 or 5 problems. It's very short. So get into Big Ideas Math. Get that done.